Hey bestie, it's B. Welcome back. So I'm really excited about this video because it's a little different. This one's a little bit more interactive. As you can see in the title, I said that this would be your guide to having the best year ever in 2024. If this year has not been, everything you wanted it to be, or even if it has been going your way and you're still just trying to figure out how you can top that next year, got you. I'm really excited because this year has not been my year. It's actually been one of the hardest years I've had in a while. You know it's bad when your therapist is like, girl, this has been a rough year. Yes, you're absolutely right. But where I was just a few months ago versus where I am now is quite literally a 180 experience. And I mean, none of this is a secret. You guys saw the videos where I was definitely down bad. I've been really honest with you about my mental health. This guide is quite literally the steps I've taken for the last 3-4 months to get to where I am now, to be in such a positive space. I honestly feel better than I have in years, and I wanted to kind of condense that and share that with you in some form or fashion. So what I did was I created a digital guide on everything you can do in the next 90 days to get yourself ready to have the best year ever. Obviously, I think the mistake people make every new year is just kind of diving headfirst into the new year. It's like an all or nothing thing. Really what we need to do is start in September, October and start warming up to this new version of ourselves that we want to be, so it's not this drastic change and you've been making small incremental moves to get there. So this guide is definitely going to help you with that. I'm gonna run through some of the things in the guide with you. I'll give you a condensed version in this video, and if you like what you hear and you're like, I want more or I want that guide, the guide will be in the description for you to purchase. So let's get into it. But before we do, just a couple housekeeping. I'm on every platform, Hey Bria Jones. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok. Your girl's out here having a good old time on the intranet, okay? Come follow me there, come hang out. Your engagement means so much. Just commenting, liking videos, sharing them, and anytime we have sponsors, definitely clicking those links and checking out what our sponsors are offering you is just an easy, free way to help me out. Without further ado, let's get into how we're gonna get ready to have the best year. So we're going for it. We have 3 months to get on the path that we want to get on to set ourselves up to have a really good year. And I've never really had this itch before, but I think when you have a shit year and you're like, I refuse to go through something similar to this again, I plan to have the best year no matter what comes my way because I said so. So like I said, it doesn't matter how your year went. If you had a good year or you had a bad year, none of that matters. We're gonna get set up to have a great year. The first thing that I kind of go over in my guide is reflection. It's all about kind of saying, okay, where are we right now? Because we can't make changes to do better if we're not clear on what's going on right now with where we are and who we are. What I like to start with is reflecting on what I love about my habits and my life that I'm doing right now and things that I want to leave. So you'll find in the guide that there's a love it and leave it section where you can decide things you want to keep, the things you want to stop doing, and what you'd like to move forward to in the future. For example, part of one of my biggest changes this year that has had a drastic impact on me mentally, physically, emotionally, all the things, is my morning routine now. I really created a routine that is foolproof, but I won't lie, it was kind of hard to adjust to. I've talked about my walking pad. I'm such a stan for the walking pad, and I do it every morning. While I'm on my walking pad, I actually do work, and for 2 hours, I am just in the zone getting that done. And when I tell you 2 hours flies by, it doesn't make any sense. I'll be like, wow, I'm already done with an hour, and we're just going, and we're also powering out so much work. So this is a habit that I don't see myself letting go of. Everything about the walking pad, the walk-in work I call it, has been so helpful to just putting me on the right track. Cause girl, when you do 2 hours of walking, that's almost 5 miles. That's 11,000 steps for me every single day. And that's what I'm starting with. So by 8 a.m. when people are getting up, your girl's done. And obviously walking is so good for the body. It's like a domino effect of amazing things that come from just doing this 2 hours of work and walk. Habit stacking has been really important. So that's kind of the theme of what I want to carry into 2024, and figuring out how to do things that maybe I don't love, but having fun with it. The walk and work is a great way for me to do that. I don't love walking for long periods of time, but I do love to create content. So meshing those together and doing my work and walking at the same time has been kind of a way to trick myself, and it's spiraled into other really good things for me. Something that I would like to work on moving forward that I don't love is not tending to my appearance. And what I mean by that is mostly like outfits. This is kind of an unserious goal because like who cares honestly, but I care. I think that what I've noticed since I've kind of gotten myself in a better headspace recently is that when I look good, I definitely feel good. So it doesn't even have to mean that I'm like dressing to the nines. Like you're not gonna see me strutting around in heels if I don't have to, okay? But to just curate a cute outfit really has an impact on my mood. And I notice that when I feel confident, I go throughout life that way. And it's interesting because I could be wearing a big t-shirt and just still feel really pretty. It's interesting because I feel like other people notice that and make comments like, hey, you're glowing. Oh, like I love your outfit. And it's those days when I feel the most confident, but I might not be wearing any makeup or anything. So I think it just shows that when you feel good inside, it definitely emits and you're able to go through life with this kind of glow and light about you. And it's something I want to be more intentional about. For example, something that I've done to actually get myself ready to make that dream time capsule wardrobe is I recently just purged so much of my closet. I'm about to be 30, okay? There's just some pieces that need to go. I have this different vision for myself moving forward as I become a 30-year-old. So I purged a lot of my clothes and donated them because I really just wanted to keep things that feel true to who the person I want to become. So I'm actually taking steps to do that, and I will slowly build that time capsule wardrobe. That's one of the things I want to change. So once you're clear on the things you want to take into the new year and the things you want to leave, now we're going to start with the goal setting. So I know that typically when we goal set, people are just like, I want to do this, this, and that. And I think that the mistake we make with goal setting is that sometimes we know the things we want to do, but we don't get clear on how we want to feel. As I've really started to goal set and get comfortable with these things, I feel like I keep missing the mark. I'm not shooting for the feeling I want to have, the emotions I want to have. So for example, I'll get to a certain goal and it's not fulfilling at all because it's just a goal. It's just that. I think we oftentimes think goals will fix parts of us and will heal parts of us. Just like, oh, I know when I make this amount of money that everything's gonna be fine and I'm gonna be so happy. That's so not true because everything is just things. At the end of the day, it's not going to cater to your emotions. It might for a temporary feeling, but as you adjust to that goal, it's not gonna forever keep you happy. So one thing I think that's important before you start to think about the things you wanna do is actually get clear on how you wanna feel. So we're going to, in this guide, get really clear on the emotions that we wanna have in the new year. Some of the emotions I wanna have, for example, are joy. Like that's probably my number one thing I want to feel is just always so joyful and happy. I also want to feel very confident about who I am and how I look and the way I go about life and the things I want. I really just want to get more certain about myself. I also want to experience more clarity. I want to be more sure of things. Kind of piggybacking off of the confidence, I want to have more clarity on decisions that I make and just feel like I can trust myself more. I also want to dive deeper into my creativity. I want to figure out how to channel deeper parts of that and be really innovative in the things that I do and just kind of take that to the next level and set myself apart from other people. So those are just a few of the things that I want to feel and experience on more of an emotional level. I think it's important for you to make sure that you're writing those down, setting those intentions, because sometimes when you look at the emotions and the feelings that you want to have, and then you look at the goals that you have, if those aren't lining up, you might want to adjust the direction that you want to go in, per se. If you know something is not going to give you joy, it's worth questioning, is what I'm saying. Some other things in terms of emotions and feelings that I'm going for is I want to feel motivated, I want to feel energized, I want to be really excited about life, just like have that zest for life. And this one's kind of deep, but I also want to experience more forgiveness. And and really mean that, okay? Forgiveness is not forgetting what someone's done to you. Forgiveness is a favor to yourself. And when you don't give yourself that present, it only hurts you. So that's something that I really want to work on and start letting go of feeling hurt or betrayed by people and move on from those situations for my own selfish reasons. After you get clear on more of the emotions and feelings that you want to have, then it's time to get into the fun part of thinking about what do you want to have, more on the materialistic side of things, okay? But in the guide that I have for you guys, I actually help you set up a format that I have found to be like one of the most powerful ways to just manifest things. I'm gonna tell you right now too, but also you'll see more details in the guide. When you are manifesting something, I think there's a key piece that really helps that come to you so much faster. And part of it is being super, super clear. People don't get what I mean when I say super clear, because I've talked to so many people about this and they're like, okay, yeah, like I want a car, I want a Ford Bronco, you know, whatever. They'll just say it like that. So instead of just saying, I want a Ford Bronco, I want you to get as specific as you possibly can. Like I want you to be overly specific, as if you are putting in your order to the universe, as we've talked about in the universal drive-through and other videos. You need to be very specific about what you want with that Ford Bronco. Because I could give you a Ford Bronco from which year, okay? So maybe specify the year. What color do you want, okay? Be super specific. And then here's the magic part that I really love to tie into my manifestations is I like to also talk about the feeling that I want to have when experiencing the manifestation itself, okay? So what I would write in my guide, because there will be a prompt for you to do this, is I feel so excited to drive my silver 2023 Ford Bronco around. Before I had that car, I would literally picture driving around, having so much fun, you know, windows down, 90s pop music up. Like I wrote this down in a journal. Really create a scenario, like be so specific that you have like this specific scenario in your head that you can replay. It's honestly so fun. And I think that's part of why when I do this, I seem to manifest things so fast. You're like quantum jumping because you're putting yourself in the situation. And when you do that, you can feel it, right? And that's what you want to tap into, because you want to tap into the feeling of already having it. When your circumstances don't look like the things you want, you got to really get creative here and learn how to feel it. And it's going to catch up to you eventually. But the hardest thing about manifesting is when you look around and you don't see the things you want, you have to pretend. I just really find a prompt like that to be really helpful when you tie in your emotions. And that's why prior to talking about the things that we want, we talk about the feelings that we want. That way it's really easy for us to tie both of those together. All of this will make so much more sense in the guide, but I hope that makes sense in terms of why I formatted it that way. Because if you're not sure that you want something, don't do this, because I promise you it's speedy. It just comes to you, okay? I'm really excited for you guys to try this out, and I want to hear all of your stories when all the goals and desires you want come to you. So now that you're clear on the things you want to have, I also have a section in the guide where you can get clear on who you want to be in 2024. I think a part of getting the things you want is also becoming the person you want to be so you can receive them. Because if you don't feel that you're at the level or that you're worthy of having certain things on a subconscious level, then you're not going to get them. You have to believe that you're worth having the things that you want. And sometimes that means we need to work on ourselves before we try to manifest things and pray for things. We need to get good with ourselves and understand that we are worthy. I don't have to tell you you're worthy. You are worthy of having everything you want and more, but you're the one that has to believe it on a very, very deep level. And if there's any hesitation to that, that is a sign that you don't quite believe that you deserve said thing. You're gonna go through some prompts in the guide that walk you through the person you want to be in 2024. I'm gonna ask you in the guide questions like, how do you dress? You know, what is your style? Just get clear on how you look. It's just something fun to do, but also I think it really helps you align with like the person you want to be. And if that's really hard for you to do, something fun that you can add to this outside of the guide is going on Pinterest and just pinning a bunch of outfits that you do like and kind of create that mood board for yourself. Pinterest is so smart these days phase 2 that if you pin one outfit, it gives you all these suggestions that are actually like really good suggestions. So I can't recommend it enough. It really helps me like in every aspect of just vision boarding and planning. And then when you go shopping, kind of reference your mood board and be like, is this aligned with like the version of myself I want to be? I swear it'll keep you from spending money you don't need to be spending, because if it's not on brand with who you want to be, then you just don't get it. You can be more intentional with your shopping and curating your closet a bit more. Once you're clear on who you want to be in 2024, we are going to then look at what we're doing on a day-to-day basis. There are questions like, what is your diet like? How are you feeding yourself? Think about where you are in the version of yourself that you want to be. If you're eating like crap, but you said you want to be energized, are these lining up? See, this is why the guide is just a visual reflection for you to see your own discrepancies visually. It can be realistic, but focus on realistic balance and how that's going to support the character that you want to be in 2024. There's also going to be prompts on your lifestyle in terms of movement. What is it you're doing to move your body and show your body gratitude? And that can look so different for everybody. You don't have to go to the gym and lift weights if that's not who you are, but it's important to prioritize moving and really understanding that being able to get up and exercise to some capacity is a way of showing your body gratitude and helping to sustain it. We'll talk about things like how many hours of sleep do you want to get? Like going back to if we said we want to be energized, how are we going to sleep at 2 in the morning? What is our bedtime routine going to look like? Are we going to be scrolling on TikTok before bed? Probably not the best if we want to actually get to sleep. So we need to set ourselves up to actually align with the things we're writing down in our guide. Do you have any hobbies? Do you want hobbies? What are some things you might want to try in 2024 in terms of having some fun hobbies? And then there's questions like, how is your health? So it's important for you to also keep in mind that when you ask yourself these questions, it doesn't have to be your current reality. In fact, we want you to understand that it's what you're aiming for. So be bold with that. If your health right now is not where you want it to be, it's okay for you to be a little delulu and say, I feel so happy, I feel so energized, I love to move my body, I don't have any pain. It's okay to be delulu and want those things, but you need to write those down. You need to write them down very confidently and fearlessly and start working on what that vision looks like for you. That's the whole point of manifesting, is that you're getting something that you don't currently have. And health can be really tricky, and that's what I figured out this year, particularly with my mental health, especially when it was so bad that I couldn't even really visualize anymore, which was really scary for me. I really had to get really delusional with myself sometimes and talk myself off the ledge. So trust me, if I can do it, you can do it. There were some very dark days that you guys will never know the extent of, but understand that you can turn it around with your thoughts, even when you have a loud voice telling you that it's not gonna work. It will work. There is, of course, a money section as well, where we're gonna get really clear on what we want in terms of money. Okay, this is gonna be a really important section, and honestly, I keep tweaking it because I want it to be like so perfect for you guys and really address everything. So you're gonna go over money habits that you don't want to take into 2024 with you. You're gonna write down how you want to feel about money, the relationship you want to have with money, because understand this, as I talked about in the abundance mindset video when it came to money, how you feel about money, money feels about you. Everything is a mirror. So if you want to feel like you have a healthy relationship with money and money has a healthy relationship with you, it has to be done by you first. Money's only gonna meet you where you're at. That means getting clear on the habits that we have, making ourselves aware of like, what are the fears I have around money, and just laying it all on the table. So we leave it in 2023 and we don't take it to 2024. But there are so many really good prompts that are gonna help you. I'm gonna give you a lot of space to write, okay? So you can really detail those thoughts out. There's even sections on what do you wanna spend your money on? What do you wanna spend less money on? Because you'll be surprised when you just have more intentions around money, it really makes it easier to take better action. This is just easy questions to ask yourself that are gonna help you make better choices and better decisions moving forward. And you can catch catch yourself in those moments when you're like, this ain't aligning with 2024 me, okay? We gonna get there. And then you'll be able to even go through a scripting section with money and detail out what it's like to open up your bank account and see X amount of dollars and what you've been spending your money on and how you've been saving your money. It's a really fun scripting exercise you're gonna be able to do just so you can get into that feeling like we talked about earlier, tying your emotions into the things you want when it comes to finances. There's also a section on relationships. I'm not gonna go too far into this, but what I did want to tell you is I've talked about before how I manifested a husband, and I put the prompt in there, literally what I did to get clear on what I wanted in a husband, and then the steps that I took to manifest a husband. You're able to take a look at your relationships as it relates to romance, friendships, family, and there's space for you to kind of talk out where you're at and where you want to be. I think that'll be one of the more fun sections for you guys as well, because it'll help keep you on track, especially those of you that are in your dating era, which I know quite a few of you are, and I love that for you. But to go on dates and be like, hey, like, I don't want to waste this person's time anymore. It's just not what I want. You're going to be really clear. And what you will find is a lot of people aren't clear. When they go into dating, they're just like, they're here for the vibes. But that's not going to be your story. You're going to be really clear, and therefore you're not going to be wasting time in places that don't benefit you. Then my favorite section is the section around fun. We just talked about in a previous video how important it is to have fun, and that it's a key indicator that you are pushing yourself towards flow. And when you are in flow, you are attracting the things that you want because you're no longer in a resistance stage. So at the end of the guide, there is a lot of space for you to detail out how you're going to have fun in 2024, which is just like so fun to think about. And I will ask you certain questions to help get your wheels turning. Okay, there will also be some fun surprises and tips and little notes from me in the guide that will help you out even more. You guys, I'm so excited to share this with you. I really was not planning on doing this guide. It was initially going to be a video, but then I was like, I feel like I can't just explain these things. I need to show them and kind of walk them through these prompts that are really going to help them get clear on what they want. So if you're interested in purchasing the guide, it's in the description, and it's fully inspired by the shit year that I had that I feel like I am coming out of, like on the complete opposite end. I always know that nothing happens for no reason, and I don't think that I got put through the year I had simply to make a guide, but I do think it would be a waste to not at least share how I've been able to come out on the other side of things, because things got really scary. All I can say is I'm really thankful to be here, and I'm really thankful to have a completely different mindset and such gratitude for life now, whereas, you know, you guys saw the videos. There was a time when I could not see straight. I had no hope, no motivation, and truly very little will to continue on. And today I don't feel anything close to that, and I'm so thankful. So I hope this helps someone who really needs it, and I hope that you can understand that you do have hope, and bad times don't last forever. Good times only get even better. So if you get the guide, let me know what you think about it. You can DM me on Instagram. I really hope that it helps you out. But I'm so glad I could share this with you guys. Even if you don't get the guide, you can still take these tools that I've shared today and implement them anyhow. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you next week.